give our keynote address a little more homework.
The best thing about the Tennessee State Junior Beta Convention? Getting out of school. Can I get an amen, brothers and sisters? I said, can I get an amen? Well, that's true for most of us. Some of you are out on Thanksgiving break, but for me, I have classmates busy back at school today, and I'm on vacation. Which leads to the worst thing about the Tennessee State Junior Beta Convention. We still have to do the homework. Now, while I've been in the great city of Nashville, I've spent my time productively, trying to figure out a homework excuse so great that I could use it on all my teachers and not have to do any of the homework. That one about the dog never works. How about I made a paper airplane out of my homework and it got hijacked? Or I could tell my teacher, you look so tired that I didn't want to add to a already heavy workload. Or I could tell them, I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I just don't feel smart anymore. Except wisdom teeth don't usually come in until you're about 18. And with this metal mouth of mine, what teacher is going to believe an oral surgeon is going to risk going in and getting cut up by all these brackets and wires? Maybe I'll save that one for senior beta convention. Now, if you're a beta, you're going to do your homework no matter what. That's how you got to be a beta in the first place. So, I'll do my homework for this week, and so will you. But do you know what the best kind of homework is to have? Math homework. No. I don't like math either, but it's still the best homework to have. You know why? The answers are in the back of the book. Of course, they only put half the answers in the back of the book, but you can get all the even-numbered problems right. Of course, the teacher usually just assigns the odd-numbered problems, but still, if you work extra and do the even-numbered problems and get the answers out of the back of the book, you can work out the odd ones too. It's the same way in life, betas. We all have problems, and the answers are in the book. You know what book I'm talking about. It's a holy one. The answers to the even problems of life are in the Bible. The odd ones can be found the exact same way. You work and find the answers to the even problems in the book so that you can work out the odd problems of life too. Let me give you an example of one very odd problem that arose in the life of a friend of mine. He's a beta, and like most of us, beta is his favorite thing about school. He's the best dancer and the best sport. At state convention last year, he moonwalked across the stage in my campaign skit. Even though he was one of the coolest ninth graders, even though he was definitely the best dancer at our school, Chad Crabtree agreed to dress up as a kooky Ronald McDonald and help someone else out. Me, as we worked to convince Tennessee that Beta needed a Mac attack. He was back and ready to rehearse in June for Beta Nationals. He came early, he helped analyze some stunts we wanted to add. He told my mom that his leg was hurting, but he kept on working and held door panels for others to jump over. He encouraged other betas who were reluctant to try new things. Chad was a leader for those rehearsals. The day in June my club was to do that skit at Nationals in Kentucky, we got a call. Chad was on the school bus with our sponsor and was throwing up. He couldn't hold anything down, but he refused to stay home. He was a leader for our campaign skit, and he wanted to be with the betas. He rode on that bus in the heat with his face in a plastic bag most of that trip, just so he could be with everybody. By the time we got to the hotel in Louisville, he looked awful. He confessed that his mouth had been hurting and he had gone to the doctor. He was prescribed pain medicine, but he couldn't keep it down. He walked. No, he dragged his leg behind him. That same leg that had been hurting at rehearsals and went upstairs to our hotel rooms. Chad hurting like this was so odd. He didn't know what was going on, and we certainly didn't. He rested for a little bit and then walked what was equivalent of 3 city blocks. just so we could rehearse our campaign skit. I took that back. Chad limped, Chad shuffled, but Chad kept moving. When we got there, we all knew he couldn't perform. And Chad knew too. He coached his replacement from a seat, and then we got someone to help him back to the hotel room. It was so odd and so scary. Still, we knew where the answers were, and we prayed. Chad missed seeing our campaign that night, but he refused to go home. He was at the convention center a little bit on that Sunday, just so he could be a part of things. On Monday, he went with us to the Louisville Zoo, but by the time we got to the Slugger Museum, the pain Chad was in rocked his body. Literally. He never cried out. He never let us see him cry. But he confessed that he had never endured anything so painful in his life. He cried watching him. He went home that night. 3 days later, on July 1st, 2010, Chad Crabtree was diagnosed with AML leukemia. He cried again. This kind of cancer is very scary, and no one we knew had ever had to go through anything like it. It was so odd that our healthy, happy Chad was going through such an aggressive strain of blood cancer. The infection in his body made his gums swell. His teeth became so loose that he couldn't eat. We all looked to God for help, began to pray more. If you're on Facebook, you may have seen a little group called Cheering for Chad Crabtree. At the end of the day on July 1st, the day Chad was diagnosed, we had approximately 18 people who had learned of our effort to combine our prayers and cheer for Chad. This group grew. To date, there are 2,466 members who are praying and cheering for Chad Crabtree. And that's just on Facebook. Even the National Beta Club itself is a member. Betas know where the answers are for the even and the oddest problems in life. We know where the answers are. I am happy to report that Chad's doctors at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital are working through all of Chad's problems. His latest test result showed that there are no leukemia cells in his body. When you get home, please go to Cheering for Chad Crabtree on Facebook and become a member. Let's see how many of us we can have praying by June at Nationals when I see you next, because Chad continues to undergo treatment. Please pray that Chad's doctors never stop doing their homework. And let's remember that we are going to have homework the rest of our lives. Sometimes that homework will be for school and will be out of a book. Sometimes we will learn from personal experience. Sometimes life will throw something at us we have never considered before, like it did with Chad. But there is a book to answer everything. If we look to God for help, we are going to get the answers we seek. Chad was a leader. Now, he's following doctor's orders. Sometimes we lead. Sometimes we follow. All of us, especially Chad right now, are trying to find answers. We all have problems, just not the same problems. We all have homework, just not the same homework. Depending on our circumstances, not all of us have the same amount of time in which to complete our homework. Life is so uncertain. There's a wonderful song that I know, and it goes like this. 'Cause I've been looking in the back of the book for the answers, hoping the bell wouldn't chime. But I'm not ready to put down my pencil just yet. There are too many answers that I didn't get. I need a little less pressure and a little more time. I am trying to follow. I am trying to lead. I am trying to find what is true. But if you're gonna stay with me, you have to concede that we all have a little more homework to do. God be with you, Bennett, as you look for the answers to your homework.